So Sparkle's coming back to the game in 4 days, and you decided that you're gonna pull for her, right? But now you're debating on if you should go for her light cone. Well, as someone who does have her light cone and maybe a little bit biased because I do have her at E2 as well, I'll be going over if her light cone is worth it. So, the light cone banners usually are overkill, especially if you have a Harmony unit. With DPSs, it might not be as bad, but the rates for the light cone banner really aren't too bad, a 75% chance of getting the rate up light cone. If you miss a 25% chance, you're guaranteed. The rates aren't too bad, but you might need to invest a lot into it. If you do get unlucky, you get a high pity or whatever, but is the risk worth it for this light cone? Honestly, like I said, I'm gonna be a little bit biased because I do have it, but I definitely think it is worth it. At S1, like it already gives 32% crit damage for her, so she now has 299.7%, basically 300%, right? But also at the start of the battle, the wearer gains mask lasting for 3 turns. When the wearer has mask, the wearer's allies have their crit rate increased by 10% and their crit damage increased by another 28%. So Sparkle increase, or my Sparkle build will increase my allies' crit damage by 117%, and then with the passive from this light cone will be another 28%. That is an additional 145% crit damage being given to my allies by Sparkle, with this light cone and her Eidolons and her kit being utilized to its full potential, of course. And also the extra 10% crit rate is nice because on Jinganoo you do need 50% crit rate on her, and I have 42% since she has a talent where she'll gain 50% crit rate, and with Sparkle's light cone's talent, that brings up her crit rate to over 100% when she's in that enhanced state. So she's guaranteed to crit, and of course, Sparkle and Jingliu is such a beautiful combo. But I definitely think the light cone here is worth it. For every 1 skill point the wearer recovers, including skill points that exceed the limit, they gain 1 stack of Radiant Flame, and when the wearer has 4 stacks of Radiant Flame, all the stacks are removed and they gain mask lasting for 1 turn. So you can basically gain more stacks of mask, which is this talent right here, just by, like gaining skill points, which, you gain skill points by, of course, using her ultimate. But obviously there's a cracked light cone, as with every other character in the business slot light cones, but are there really any substitute light cones for her? Honestly, I think, of course, this is her #1 light cone, it was made for her, but I don't think that any other light cone in the game even, competes with it. This light cone works with Bronya because her action forward is 100% on her skill, but for Sparkle it's only 50%. So sometimes when I use her again, my Sparkle is really like weird. I have some weird speed on her, I gotta get that fixed. But when I use my Sparkle skill on like Jingliu, for example, sometimes Jingliu's action won't even be forwarded at all, since Sparkle only has 50% action forward and the enemies might just be too fast. So this light cone isn't really too good on Sparkle unless maybe you just have a lot of speed on her. But generally, since Sparkle's action forward thing, or her skill, isn't 100%, this light cone might fall off a little bit in some cases. For this light cone, I mean, you wouldn't really want this on her. It's pretty garbage on her. Increases break effects by 56%. On Harmony, Trailblazer, and Renmei, this is one of the best light cones, but for Sparkle, not really. When the wearer attacks, it additionally regenerates 8 energy. You don't want to be attacking with Sparkle. You don't want to use her basic attack. You want to use her skill, of course, as much as you can. That's where most of her kit is utilized, because the action forward, and also as well, just that's where you get the extra crit damage. When the wearer uses their ultimate, all allies' actions are advanced forward by 16% at S1. Not too bad, but compared to this, not really too good. This one, this is the worst, the worst light cone you could put on Sparkle, and this one, it's too much there. I'm not reading all that, but let me take a quick look at the 5-star light cone for Bronya, right? this one could maybe work on her. Increases the wearer's energy regeneration by 10% and regenerates one skill point when the wearer uses their ultimate on an ally. This effect can be triggered once after every 2 uses of the wearer's ultimate. When the wearer uses their skill, the next ally taking action deals 30% more damage. So very similar to the other light cone. I don't know. I kind of forgot what it's called. The other light cone. The other light cone, this one right here, past and future, right? It's definitely a step up from past and future. It can maybe work on her if you got like a fast sparkle. You know, you got this, you got everything all speed tuned. The enemies are slow. Maybe you could use sparkle, whatever DPS, a Jinglu, Blade, or whatever, Topaz even, and then you can maybe use, well, who knows, but. Honestly, I don't think any Harmony Light Cone as of right now can really compete with Earthly Escapade. I think that if you get Sparkle at early pity, or you already have Sparkle, then it would definitely be worth going for the Light Cone, right? If you're out of pulls, then the Light Cone might not be worth it. You know, you might, there's a very high chance that you'll miss. You just won't get it at all, right? If you don't have any pulls. But you know, if you have enough pulls, right? Like, this is a decent amount of pulls. This is probably about 60 pulls, right? Yeah, 60 pulls, 50 with the Stellar Jade, and then the extra 10 pull, right? With 60 pulls, you'd be very close to, you know, soft pity on the Light Cone banner. And, you know, chances are you might get a 5-star Light Cone in that amount of pulls. You might need a little bit more than that just to safely secure the light cone itself, but if you have enough pulls, you know, you get Sparkle like really early, then honestly I think it's completely worth it. I don't want to persuade anyone into going for the light cone banner and then they end up completely missing, and then that falls on me and I have to take the blame for that. You know, of course you gotta spend your pulls, you know, with a lot of care, right? Because this is the content in the game. Everyone does the content in Honkai Star Rail for the Stellar Jades, right? It's a huge investment going for the Light Cone banner, and even just going for a character, right? For characters, it's not as bad as for an investment, because, you know, at least you'll get to build up pity if you miss. Not that you should build pity on banners that you don't want the rate of 5-star for, but for example, if I wanted Yunli and I missed Yunli, you know, I lose a 50-50, then, you know, at least I could have that guarantee saved for the next 5-star. But for light cones, most people don't go for light cones as much as they, you know, would go for characters, so it's definitely a big investment. But the rate ups, you know, the rates are definitely in your favor. You know, 75% chance of getting the rate up. If you lose the 75-25, it's a 100% chance, 100-0 guaranteed. So it's not too bad, but I would especially recommend going for Sparkle's Light Cone if you have, you know, the pulls. If you have enough pulls, then you could definitely go for it. But I did not have that many pulls when I went for Sparkle when she first came out. I had probably like this many pulls, not even. So I got Sparkle I got Sparkle, I got Eidolon Zephyr, and I got her Light Cone all in like maybe 50 pulls, something like that. E2S1 and 50 pulls. So I definitely lucked out, but a lot of people aren't gonna get as lucky, right? You know, most people are gonna have average luck, which is why it's called, you know, average luck, you get what I mean? But, you know, this is a very irreplaceable light cone for Sparkle, unless there's another Harmony unit that comes out with a light cone that's just straight up better than this one, which not very likely. You know, another Harmony unit with crit damage or crit damage scaling that might not come out for a little while. You know, probably in like the next year or two at least. I would guess Sparkle is definitely a one-of-a-kind Harmony unit. I talked about if you should go for her in my last video, you know, and of course I said that you should go for her since she is one of the best and most flexible units. You could put her on in many team comps. You know, if you're debating on whether or not you should go for Sparkle, you should definitely check out that video as well. It didn't get too many views, but I still think I had some good points, right? How Sparkle works with, you know, units like Jade, Sealy, Jinglu, but maybe not characters like Firefly who scale off of break effect and not crit damage. So if you have a DPS who scales off of crit damage, then Sparkle is definitely a must go, or a must have unit in that case. But we're talking about the light cone here, of course. The light cone, 100% worth it as long as you have enough pulls or you're willing to full send it even if you miss. Which honestly, if you miss, you know, there's some light cones that aren't too bad. if you lose the 75-25, and you can always get Bailu's light cone. It might be a little bit copium. You could get Himiko's light cone. You could get this. You know, I'm using this light cone on Jade because I didn't go for a light cone. You know, if you miss, it's really not the end of the world. But if you get it, it would be a huge upgrade for Sparkle, like a massive upgrade. So, you know, that's really about it. Just to reiterate one last time, Sparkle's light cone is 100% worth it, only if you have enough pulls, or if you're, you know, willing to full send it, go all out, and be willing to, you know, accept the losing the 75-25. You get what I mean? So, you know, that's really about it. I'll see you. Goodbye.